It's the weekend again. We have some new plans today. We're gonna go someplace different. It's a place I first heard about from reading the responses to my video from a few weeks ago. A gentleman, I think his name was Don, left a comment about being seen in one of my videos. Amazingly, I passed him in Malibu on that day and he's on the video. And during one of his replies, he said that he was always in Malibu on the weekends, and if not, he was at Angeles Crest or some place called Bouquet. I never heard of Bouquet before, and figured this guy has some experience, let's look it up. And sure enough, Bouquet Canyon Road seems to be a nice place to ride. Now in Los Angeles terms, it's a bit of a hike, meaning that it's a 19-mile trip up the 405 freeway. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the traffic situation in California, the 405 is one of the biggest nightmares. I spent most of my day on it yesterday in a car, watching motorcyclists split past me on the way back from San Diego. Painful, painful stuff. So the road looks nice. We're gonna check it out today. We're on the 405 now. It's early. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. Which for me is weekend early. So the dealership just gave my bike the run over. I'm moving to San Diego in a couple of weeks. I don't know the dealer's situation down there. My dealer, Wheels in Motion, has done a terrific job in always being available. Gave me a great price on the bike, always gives me exceptional deals on gear and on services. So I figured I'd bring the bike by so they could check out my my taillight situation. I think I had a fuse out. So for any of you that notice your horn and your taillight aren't working, or your LED that's lighting up your license plate, probably gonna be a fuse, because they all share the same fuse. So it was that it took care of that, and they also gave it a little workup well before the 6,000 mile service interval, just because of my insecurity with the dealerships in an area I'm not familiar with. However, I can tell they pumped my tires up to no end, because it feels like I'm riding on rocks right now. Which might be good for gas mileage, but it's stiff. And you can see the mountains up there. I'm headed to the right place. So it seems. Unless it's some sort of elaborate trap. Wouldn't that be entertaining? College of the Canyons. I mean, there are so many colleges. Maybe they just stopped making them at some point. Here. McBean. I love street names. I don't know about anybody else, but they're friggin' hilarious. McBean? So I'm in a place called Valencia right now. Never knew it existed. It's like a kind of town center I anticipate to see in the far reaches of any large city suburb. You know, your pockets of typical stores like Corner Bakery and Cheesecake Factory. Usually I throw a Walmart in there somewhere. Get your JC Penney. Talk about bad names. What about JC Penney? I don't think they're really working on their reputation with the young folk nowadays. When was the last time you heard a 15-year-old say, I want to go to Penny's to pick up a pair of pants? Come on, Siri, talk to me. Where am I turning? I'm not following my mileage here. Oh, yeah, Barnes & Noble and Baja Fresh. Those are all prerequisites for the suburb. So I looked at a couple of quick videos of this road, people taking videos on it. And of course, you come across the videos of someone doing well over 100 miles an hour on this road with a bunch of other people. I'm hoping I don't encounter those folk today. This has got to be it. Yeah, there's the Bouquet. There's my Bouquet. Should have seen how long it is. I think it goes into a place called Lancaster, which all I know is like Amish country on the East Coast. Is it Pennsylvania, I think? There's a music dick next to me. He's got a kicker sticker written on the back of his car. I'm sure that's impressing the chicks. You're playing some fucking 90s R&B. So what do you do, getting all horned up in there by yourself with that kicker sticker? Is that what's going on in there? I gotta check out where I am. Make sure this is all legit. Oh, it's nice out here. It's like wide open. It's like a motorcycle playground. I will gladly make a U-turn because there's nobody around. I'll do a figure eight. How about I do a figure eight? Is that acceptable? Can I do that? Can I make a figure of the eight? Just in celebration of this emptiness. Central Park. I don't know if that's well deserving of the name. Maybe descriptive, but deserving, I don't know. Bouquet Canyon. It's not for everyone. No cars allowed, no slow people. There you go. Got a little promise around here. I just feel bad when I see a horse next to a road. And they always put them next to a road too. Maybe it's because they just don't have, well, I can't say that. I don't go exploring the backyards of these big places, but the only horses I see are the ones next to the road, obviously. And for those, I feel bad. I mean, my understanding is horses can be a bit temperamental. And having cars scream by every day, some with ridiculous exhaust, does not sound like a fun experience. If I was forced to have a horse next to a road, I'd probably load it with Klonopin every day, just to keep things nice and smooth. That looks promising. It's pretty around here. These tires are really hard. I don't think I like going on corners. The tires pumped up. There we go. That's what I'm feeling back home. Just like Rhode Island. Tons of white beaters. Tons of white people and wife beaters with bad hair. That was my childhood. Practically lived in Jersey Shore without the shore. It's my first time on this road, so even though I never really go too fast, I gotta keep it very tame until I've been through once and I can identify the dangerous points, especially those extremely sharp turns that tend to jump on you. Oh, you saw the sign. You saw the curvy sign. Maybe we can, we'll map it out on the way up, and we can play a little more on the way back. Does that sound like a plan? That guy is adept at the one-hander. He wasn't missing a step. Give me a thumbs up mid-corner. Yeah, that gets a little tight there. You don't know what you're dealing with. The corners here seem to be pretty variable. So Angeles Crest, they're all sweeping corners. I mean, there's no corner Angeles Crest I can't take doing 50 plus safely. That's of course experience related, so that would only apply to me, but meaning other people can probably go a lot faster up there. This one, you can see they get pretty tight. Like if I was pulling 50, 60 miles an hour in some of these corners, it would not look good. I would be, I'd be in the ground. Let's get some mid-corner bumpies there too. Good fun though. The surface here is the worst. It's worse than Angeles Crest because there's a lot of different types of pavement. They have the patch over smooth black mixed with the cruddy, crumbly pavement below it. Cracks, undulations, some mid-corner bumps. I mean, not horrible. It's not to the point where it's not like Palos Verdes style, if you saw that video. Another thing too, the stabilization on the Sony image stabilization is so effective. I realized when I hit some crazy bumps that really disturb me, they don't come across on camera at all. It just smooths them right out. Which is kind of unfortunate because as a viewer, you don't really see the surface, you know, based upon my head movements and any sort of jarring effects. It just washes them right out. There's an animal down there. What the hell? Wow, this person's really taking it easy. Ah, there's houses on this road too. What a bummer. This is a national forest. So I guess this is their Newcombs? I don't see a bike in sight, so I guess not, but big parking lot. Kind of planted in a Angeles forest area. Quickly having enough of you. Thank you for that. Be very polite. My other technique is when I pull away, yeah, I pull away to let them know that this person does want to go faster, but I don't pull away like a wild maniac. You know, indicating that I was frustrated with them, or angry, or reckless. It's really not going to do a lot for the culture, you know? We're on the road together, we have to get along. Yeah, the houses are weird. I don't like the houses. That's one thing about Angeles Crest is great. You don't have houses. There's stop-offs and stuff, you know, and you can see them coming up from a distance. There's not as many trees. You can plan ahead a little better. Like around this corner with all the shrubbery, I don't know what's behind this. I don't know if there's a horse sitting in the middle of the road. I don't want to hit a horse. So, Spunky Canyon. Spunky Canyon. That's where the beautiful scenery is. So if you really want to have a good time, come on down to Valencia and take a ride on the Spunky train. Am I in Lancaster? Or Lancaster? Could be in friggin' Pennsylvania for all I know. It's 93. I'm not really feeling it because I'm moving. I'm gonna go right too. It appears my desolate. Just hot as hell out here. Well, it's a good place I need to pull over. Look at this like vast area of nothingness to my right. What is this all about? It just goes on forever too. What happens here that requires this much space to fuck around in? So, just a quick stop. I made some updates to the bike. Can go over those quickly. So those are the new taillights. Improved over the old ones. Those huge pumpkins are now gone. Just noticing one of those seems a little tilted up. A little cockeyed. Just gives it more character. I also took that orange reflector off the front. And the headlights, or the reflectors in the front, you see those too. So, much more harmonious now without those orange interruptions, I would say. It's better. Simple. It's working out well. Anyway, let's head back. So I was watching a video by a guy named Dodge Rider. He has an FZ09. He makes some good videos, some good reviews. Seems to have a lot of experience with different kinds of motorcycles. And he was talking about the suspension on the FC09. He was saying how he was in some fast canyon roads with some friends that were on sport bikes, and he was right up there with them without too much drama on the stock suspension of the FC09, which is often criticized, as well as the FC07. And he was saying that if you're riding less than 90% and you have adequate skill, you can adapt to the characteristics of a bike, even if they're not ideal, and move at a pretty strong pace. And jumping on an advanced suspension, outside of a track environment, of course, and really pushing it. Jumping on an advanced suspension too soon, you skip the whole process of adapting to the bike's characteristics. And for a large majority of people that are buying the 07 and the 09, FC7 and FC9, I think this is my road. Yeah. It's just not going to matter. All I can say is, with my experience in playing every sport known to man as a kid in high school, snowboarding, bicycling, BMX racing, unless you're at that really high level of competition, the gear it matters. I mean, there's a threshold of gear just being completely inadequate. But for the most part, it's up to the person using the gear, and in this context, the gear being the motorcycle, to adapt to the characteristics of that piece of equipment. Although it may not be ideal. But you come to know when the bike's gonna float on you, when the bike's gonna get the bouncies in the rear tire, when the front wheel's gonna feel a little skittish. I don't want to skip that step. I'd rather not. I think it's a very good point, though. People buy a new bike and it seems like, and believe me, I have the same drive to update it and make it perfect and do everything I can for it. But I think a lot of that is us just loving the bike and wanting the best experience possible and really milking it. It's an addiction in a way to keep that sensation of the new bike fresh, by it feeling different, feeling new, feeling better. And that's okay. If you can afford it, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But for a newer rider like me, there's so much to learn before considering a newer suspension. The only time I really feel uncomfortable is when I'm at a higher speed and the preload is, jacked up like it is, and that back starts bouncing on me. And I think that's just, the damping isn't very good back there. The front, I don't notice that much. The front can get a little squirrely in mid-corner bumps. That's pretty much it, but how wonderful are mid-corner bumps on anything? Ah, that's my friend. Bouquet Canyon. This must be a reservoir because it's so protected. I think I like the Spunk better than I do Bouquet. Maybe people are referring to the side roads off Bouquet as opposed to Bouquet itself. I mean, Bouquet itself is okay, but this to me is much more desolate and appropriate to enjoy yourself on. Yeah, gas is getting pretty low. We're gonna have to turn this ship around. How about a little friendly stopover? I'm only in the Los Angeles area for another couple of weeks. After that, I'll be a quick trip back to the East Coast. If I rent a motorcycle there, I'll put a video up. Hopefully try something new and different. And then after that, it'll be San Diego. Be plenty of new places to investigate. New roads to play on. Should be a good time.